You see any thumbs? There's jeez.
In a head.
Shit. Thumbs in a head. That's like when you're ordering in like a cannibal country. You'd be like, I'd like 2 thumbs in a head, please. Not So Tender Podcast, episode number 27. Yay. Season 2 that never ends. It's never going to end.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How's your holidays?
Busy.
Yeah? What was your favorite part of them?
Seeing my brother.
Yeah? Did you go up there?
No, he came down.
Oh, cool.
He came down. But, yeah, it was...
Did you do any Ninja Gingerbreads?
No.
Fuck y'all. I wanted to see that.
I know. So this was the year that he was supposed to come down for Christmas. Mm-hmm. But his wife's family, like, just things changed. Yeah, it just didn't work out. So he came down. And actually, I didn't tell you. Do you want to know what actually happened for Christmas?
No, I want you to lie to me.
My brother... I'm going to share this on national television.
Wow.
Podcast, whatever.
Whoops.
It's all right. So my brother from New York came down with his pen. And he was like, this is legal in Ohio now. Here you go.
Oh.
So I hit it and ended up being high as fuck.
Really?
As fuck.
Yeah.
My mom knew. My other brother knew. Like, everybody thought it was hilarious.
They're all going to know.
But, like... I was like, oh my God. I went out to the garage and I was like...
Did that help or hinder?
I don't like it. And
I've never...
that was Andrew's thing. He's like, why would you do that? We've tried this. You've done this. You never enjoy it. I go mute. I get quiet. Everything's super heavy.
Maybe I do need to start doing drugs.
It's so heavy. I remember laying on the couch and my brother comes over and he's like, how you doing, love? And I like laid my head down and he was like, we have to go be social. And I was like, but I'm so heavy.
Oh my God.
My mom thought it was hilarious.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've never been high. Like I've never done drugs. A lot of my friends might have done drugs and still do drugs.
Sure.
I don't, is it a control thing? Is it what? I don't know what it is. I don't need it. Not that, you know what I mean? But some people enjoy it. I don't think I would. A lot of
people enjoy it.
That sounds awful to me.
As a human, as a clinician, like a lot of my clients smoke. And they say it's extremely beneficial. You know, they have their card and whatever. And so like when Eric is my brother's name, when he offered, I was like more even so like clinically curious. I continue to be clinically curious.
Is that what you call it?
That I don't,
curious.
I have yet to find a benefit in it. Ever. I either, like, in my early days, like, I smoked a handful of times in, like, high school and college, literally never felt it. And now in adulthood, it's like on or off. Yeah. I can't, I'm like, how do people do this I mean, my brother hit that same pen 17 times.
I might know a guy like that in the other room.
But like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't. It knocks me on my ass every single time. Every time.
Yeah.
So that's how I spent my Christmas was.
I've even slowed down my drinking. Like when I play, I've even slowed that way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
No, more
Gets
of a
me
drinker.
too in my head.
Puts me in my feels.
Yeah, I don't need to be in my feels.
No.
I'm in the angry part of my descent.
It makes you kind of mad. And I was like, no, he goes, it makes you emotional. And I was like, no, it takes away my filter. Oh, that's why you don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't need that.
I don't either. It's my filter's very...
I'm trying not to be angry right now. I'm working hard on it.
Stop.
I'm going to read this book that Kelly finally brought me.
Ta-da! There it is, everybody.
The Road Back to You. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read it.
What's it say? Over how many sold?
7.
Over 500,000. Half a million sold.
That's good.
It's good.
So I'm going to read this.
I recommend it to my clients.
So if you want to be a client, read this book. Get ahead of the program, people.
I have a decent amount of clients from this show now.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Small handful.
That's good though. Hey man, people come up to me all the time and say that we're doing stuff that people enjoy. Mm-hmm. My holiday was interesting. It was pretty low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was chill. It was actually really chill, and I just spent this last weekend with my daughter.
That's right. Was that the family. Tail end of your holiday? Yeah.
Yeah, it was this past weekend. The weather wasn't cooperating very well, but we got to hang out, and it was really nice. And I had my girls in the car on the way down and back, and I just love it. My dog's first real trip, he did amazing.
How'd he do?
Perfect. He's so good and just loved by everybody. He had his sweater on because it was so cold.
Oh my gosh. Are you obsessed? I'm obsessed with my puppy.
Yeah, I kind of calm it down a little bit because I feel bad.
Why?
Because I have another dog.
Because you have the...
He's old, though. He's 10. He just doesn't want to do anything. He's
That's
just
how I
chill.
am. I have another one, too. Another Frenchie, actually.
And she's chill.
She's chill, and I like, have smudged, like, literally last night I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and it was...
It's a never-ending show.
He was laying on my chest, and his face was, like, right here, and I just kept, like, kissing his snoot over and over, because I'm just like, oh my God, like, you're so fucking cute. And then I would look at Bubbles, who's snoring, and be like, you poor babe.
Right.
There was a time where you were my favorite.
Yeah.
And then he came and
dude,
you just lay there and snore and shed.
Yeah.
And he is like,
no, I mean, everybody loves my older dog for sure. But I will say this, he wasn't with us on the trip. He does horrible in cars. But like my family was just obsessed with this puppy.
Oh my God.
So
they're just my favorite.
All right. We're going to get to our topic today. I know nothing about this topic. She sent it to me a while back and said, hey, I know what we want to talk about next time. And I was like, that sounds like a guitar pedal.
Cognitive distortions.
Yeah, that sounds like something
a
guitar company would make.
Errored thinking is what it is.
Errored. You're saying two words that most people probably don't know what those words mean. So cognitive, one, most people don't know what that means to actually define it. And two, errored. So let's do some definition.
Distorted?
Let's do some
incorrect.
Definition. Is that what errored? Yeah, we have to do this. All right, hold on. Justin, look up what errored means.
You always want me to like control tab.
I know.
Yeah. Errored.
Oh, errored. See, I thought it was an A. It's an E. Errored.
And actually, I don't think it's a word because every time I type it in a note, it like comes up red and squiggly.
Really?
Yeah.
So, improper thinking.
Flawed. Yeah. Flawed thinking. Incorrect. Yes.
Containing one or more errors or faulty. That's what this word means. Just so everybody's on the same.
Yeah, sure.
Who determines it's errored?
So, errored thinking or cognitive distortions focus a lot on the purpose that they serve. Like, does that thought pattern benefit you in any sort? Does it serve you?
Does it dominate you? Are you obsessed with it?
Yes.
Ooh.
And is it factual? Is there logic and evidence to support that thinking? Or
do you find people can make any kind of thing factual if they try hard enough?
Well, that's the world that we live in.
What I'm saying, though, is they'll like justify the shit out of it.
Yeah, a lot of people I have, and like we'll dive in because there's like, I think it's like the top 10 on this website that I found.
Welcome to 2024, everyone.
Right. And I think people struggle, like the more rigid you are and the more embedded you are in your cognitive distortions, the harder it is to look at facts outside of that.
I would imagine.
That they're like, no, but there's evidence. So like as a clinician, a lot of the time what we do is like look at the factual evidence now and are you applying old evidence to this situation? Are you like, and there's
not current.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that your brain is an asshole. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, your brain's an asshole. And they're like,
get the new iOS in your brain.
Right. Your brain's an asshole. And I give them the bullshit button. But I'm like, every time your brain's an asshole, I need you to hit the buzzer and pause.
Think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
Let's go through the first one. I am so curious of this because I literally know nothing about what we're going to talk about today, which is rare.
That's why I said I'm curious to know if you struggle with any of these. I do think it's important. It's a little psychoeducation.
Ooh.
Ta-da!
Is that like dating in my teens?
It's another band name.
Right.
So cognitive distortions do not equate to mental illness. So like just because your brain's an asshole doesn't mean you have a diagnosis.
I would imagine.
Lots of people think it does. Think of what the world we live in is like, oh, I do this or they do. It's usually external.
Let's be honest.
They do this, they say these things, they act this way, they think this way, so they must have this.
Right.
Cognitive distortions or errored thinkings is not in this website. It's the DSM. So it's like the diagnostic book of like these things could lead to this sort of mental illness. Lots of like anxiety, depression, PTSD like this is a symptom.
There's tracers of it.
Yeah, like your brain's an asshole is part of.
Course. I mean, but that's
right. But just because your brain's an asshole doesn't mean
the word insecurity could lead to a lot of different things.
Doesn't mean you need medication. Doesn't mean you need treatment. Doesn't
just correct it.
Just identify it.
Right. If you think all this group of people is shit, that's error thinking, right? Like not everyone could be that horrible.
Probably doesn't serve you
or good.
Either. Right.
Yeah.
I'm
not good at that.
Does it help to think that way?
I can't even let it in my head.
No. So we'll dive in.
Dive in, Kelly.
Dive in. Number 1, polarized thinking. Black and white. All or nothing.
There's no such thing.
People's brains. The general public struggles.
I heard an interesting thing from a comic the other day. He said, so everybody talking about the world being flat. Like, so what if it is? Do I get to not go to fucking work? Like, what fucking changes?
Oh, right.
Our whole lives people talked about aliens. And then all of a sudden the government literally goes, hey, there's some fucking aliens. And no one skipped a fucking beat.
That's fair.
Literally. They've literally multiple times went, definitely aliens. Nothing changed.
Our world does not pause for that.
No.
Because it doesn't affect us.
You don't think? Now it doesn't.
But that's what it doesn't. But even in that moment, the most hype that I saw about the fact that there's aliens was the fact that there wasn't a response to that news. Not the fact that there was aliens. It was the lack of response.
And the same thing. If you found out the earth was flat, not to be a dick, what fucking changes?
Well, nothing.
I've been all over, and guess what? I still had to get on a plane or in a fucking car or a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Or a train. Traveled all those
Not
ways.
A boat. You'll fall off.
I don't like boats. Well, yeah.
That might be the only case in which that does affect you.
I don't think I'll be on a boat that long, ever.
So the definition of polarized thinking is, it says sometimes called all or nothing or black and white. This distortion occurs when people habitually think in extremes without considering all of the possible factors given.
You would have to be a complete fucking moron to not remotely go. And usually those things are about people. They're not about things. Is that fair?
No. I mean, you could do this in your job if you weren't self-employed.
I understand. I'm saying, I only drive Fords. Fucking Chevys fucking suck. All of them suck? Like who could literally just stand on that mountain?
So this is why I'm bringing this up, and this is why I said I'd be interested to find out which hole you fall in.
Sweet.
Because this one isn't.
I need another hole to fall in, Kelly.
This isn't one.
No, fuck no.
You're not black and white.
No.
You are a little right and wrong, though.
Well, no, it just either makes sense or it doesn't. Well, no, is it reasonable or is it not reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I won't say I'm black and white. It's, okay, I'll be black and white saying that there's no such thing as black and white. Okay? Is that fair?
Very rigid on that.
Is the world going to implode now because I said that? I mean, I could literally say that, obviously some things are measurable. I always say I will never argue facts or opinions.
Yeah.
So what are we arguing?
You've told me that you've said that to people.
Yes.
If we're not arguing either,
what are we arguing?
There's no point in arguing either.
It doesn't serve
if it's
me.
factual, I know.
Okay.
So
the MAGA nut. Mike's talking about MAGA nut.
What is that?
Mike, come on, tell us what a MAGA. You can't. Yeah.
I was like,
both sides.
What's a MAGA
He's talking about political parties. Both sides go way too hard. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
This says this type of distortion is unrealistic and often unhelpful because the reality often exists between the two extremes. So clearly what you're saying, this is not a hole that you fall in, but a lot of people do.
Oh.
A lot of people do.
I think it gives them power. I think it gives them something to feel important about or knowledgeable about. I think this one would do that because like you don't understand, like you're smarter.
Because you can't.
You know, like I'm smarter than you.
Well, but because it's black and white, there is a power side of that, or there is a victim side of that.
Right.
Like there's just as much, right?
Or a persecution or being persecuted.
Yeah. Polarized thinking is extremely conflict oriented in fair fighting of like, you won't get it. You're this. I'm that. Like,
yeah. Here's your imaginary trophy.
I've decided in 2024 that I might make trophies.
Imaginary ones?
No.
Real ones?
I might make them. Like Friends style. Have you ever seen that episode of Friends where it's like troll doll nailed to a 2x4? It's the Geller cup. And they pass it back and forth and back and forth. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
Here's your trophy. I'll mail it to you. It might be worth a $7 shipping.
It would be. I like it.
Not being bitter, just being blunt. 2024, all about the blunt.
Is it? Apparently. Christmas.
I was going to say it's actually not all about the blunt. Jeez. Hard. I was going to say hard pass. Man.
You can't do it.
There's so many.
Do it 3 days in a row.
Oh my God, I would die. Number 2, it says overgeneralization. There's going to be a couple overlaps with these, just so you know.
That's okay.
So it says when people overgeneralize, they reach a conclusion about one event and then incorrectly apply the conclusion across the board. In other words, you might assume that one negative event means subsequent events after will have a negative event or a negative outcome too.
Explain.
It says, for example, you score low on a math test and conclude that you're hopeless in math in general.
Oh, just like despair, immediate despair.
You may have a negative experience in one relationship and then believe that you just aren't good at relationships.
Probably not.
So this one's important though, because you take evidence. It is based in
experience.
Fact. Yeah, in experience. But then you push it forward.
Well, you have to consider the source and have like where it's coming from and have some context to it. You can't just go, if that was true, nobody would be in a second relationship. Nobody would have a second job or a second car or a second house or a second pair of shoes or anything because they would be like, I'm not good at that. Right. Well, did you put any work in towards it?
Well, or like, did you pick the wrong thing? Like, is it not?
Yeah.
This comes up a lot, it says, with PTSD or other anxiety disorders. Because
is that Michael Jackson song?
No, I don't think
PYT.
so.
Sorry.
But so anxiety disorders or PTSD often focus, like depression, like the saying is like depression focuses on the past and anxiety focuses on the present or the future, sorry. And so if you have evidence or factual information about this experience and then worry about how how these things are going to happen. So like I think of clients that I've had that their parents fell apart, right? Because mom cheated, dad cheated.
I thought you meant they didn't tighten their arm up or something. Just
Nope. But they take that evidence and that hurt and then project it onto relationships that like
that's all they see.
Men can't be trusted. Yeah. Women are whores. Like it.
Mike's like, wait, no, she's not speaking the truth, Michael.
I said, no, I am not. So overgeneralization can be dangerous just because it leaves little room for growth, I guess.
Or even
like
looking at it for what it really is.
Yeah.
You just automatically assume like, nope, that's red. It sucks.
Yeah.
You can't,
It's like, you eat soup and it's too hot and then you're never going to eat soup
all
again.
soup's hot.
All soup's too hot.
If it's called soup.
Too hot.
No soup for you.
Well, see, maybe that's why I keep smoking weed, because it doesn't go well for me, and I refuse to overgeneralize it.
Jesus.
That can't be the only time.
It can't be. Maybe it's just the wrong kind of weed.
It's just the wrong kind.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Never.
Maybe that's what Jay's doing. He's just going through it all.
He just wants to. Well, he maybe has overgeneralized the opposite way.
Thoroughly.
All weed is good.
Oh, yeah, I do think.
All weed is good.
Jay might think that.
But, like, that's the thing. Like,
it works for Jay. I've been friends with him a long time.
It's helpful.
He's never got so high on the pots. He's never taken so much pot that he lost his mind.
He can't move.
No. He's got Willie Nelson DNA.
I do not.
He's Texas at heart.
I do not.
You
apparently
do not.
my threshold of getting greened out is what they call it. Is
what?
Like
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was until I was, and then started telling people, and they were like, "Oh, sweetie, it's like the equivalent of ODing on weed." It was awful. I don't.
Reason number 285 why I'm not going to smoke weed.
Reason why my husband was like, "Babe, we've done this. We've been here.
Never works out well.
It doesn't go well for you. Why do you keep beating your head on the same?"
No.
Because I refuse to overgeneralize people. I'm trying to.
Jesus, you're fighting this so hard.
I'm fighting it. I want something to help.
All right, what's the next one?
Catastrophizing.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, dum dum dum. It says this distorted thinking leads people to dread or assume the worst when faced with the unknown.
That's pretty common.
Despite lack of evidence supporting such predictions.
The sky is falling.
When people catastrophize ordinary worries can quickly escalate. So it's kind of, it ties into the other one, but like this one has no evidence.
Yeah.
The other one, you do have a nugget, right? Like there is a nugget and you then
there's a reference point
over apply it. This is saying like, we don't even know that this is like facts.
It just feels some sort of way.
It just hits with you and you're like, yes, run all the way.
That's it.
I'm going to pick up this baton that I picked up off the ground. Nobody passed it to me. I found a baton, taking it to the finish.
Jesus.
It says, for instance, I'll give you an example. It says, an expected check doesn't arrive in the mail. A person who catastrophizes may begin to fear it will never arrive and that as a consequence, it won't be possible to pay rent and that the whole family will be evicted.
As they should be.
For having an asshole brain?
Yeah, or just having a person that thinks that way.
You good?
Yeah.
It says it's easy to dismiss God.
You need your glasses today.
It's easy. They're at my house. I wore them yesterday because my eyes were giving me a hard time.
This is going to be a catastrophe.
It's easy to do you want to read?
No.
See? Then don't judge me.
No, ma'am.
Don't put your asshole button in my head.
I appreciate what you're doing.
I hate reading out loud. It's easy to dismiss catastrophizing as a hysterical overreaction. That's a lot of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Still, people who have developed this cognitive distortion may have experienced repeated adverse effects like chronic pain, childhood trauma. So often that they fear the worst in many situations.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
But like it doesn't serve people to jump from like 2 to 10.
No.
A lot of people do this one. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, if A plus B equals C, then
you're on Y.
Yeah, like A plus D obviously equals like not the
Worst
same.
Case scenario.
Yeah, not the same.
I don't really resonate with those folk.
I don't either. It's it feels, as a human, not as a therapist, as a human, it feels over dramatic. So I have a hard time
acknowledging
it's just exhausting.
Yeah. I do think, though, it's a fine line between doing that or foreseeing, like when you're working on a project, the way things could go wrong. Now, that is a super beneficial thing because you can be like this. That's going to hit that and wear that out and knock into that and fall over to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
That's it. But it's very similar. It's a positive way of feeling very similar to that.
Yes. There's a difference between logical predictions.
Right.
In
worst
order
case
to
scenario.
Avoid error.
Right, worst case scenario.
Yes.
You're strapping something down on a trailer, you're like, hey, what that could rub or bump or that's not good. Get tied up in the axle or something crazy.
Yep. Okay. One, overgeneralization and catastrophizing, unfortunately, they both are rooted in a belief system. That's why it's called like a cognitive distortion. Your head tells you that these things are true.
Yeah.
So, and they often go hand in hand. Like if this guy cheated on me in the past, all men are dicks, right?
Or I'm a shitty person that doesn't demand somebody to stay faithful to me.
Right.
I mean, whatever makes it in your head, right?
Either way. And then in catastrophizing, I finally get into a relationship and he does something even this close to kind of something else, running with it.
Yeah, that could be very painful.
It can be very
for
painful
everyone
to
involved.
everyone, right?
Yeah.
So the next one is
Definitely a pipe bomb.
Personalization. You hate this one. Are you ready? You don't even know, but you hate this one. You talk about it all the time.
It already sounds like I hate it.
One of the most common errors in thinking is taking things personally when they're not connected or caused by you at all.
Yeah. That's a waste.
This comes up so often, like just in our casual conversation.
Again,
it doesn't matter.
You want to feel important.
Right.
Again, you want to feel like a victim. You want people to rally behind you. You want to take it personally so somebody can put out a fire that you literally created.
Or it does serve them, but in such an unhealthy way because of trauma, because of whatever. They take these things as evidence, make them about themselves to rationalize and validate their negative core belief system.
Right.
Which all of that string of words I just said is so unhealthy.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty gross.
But this is like why people come to therapy, right?
And you don't want to. Most of the people that take things super personal, you're getting a call to, that take it very personal. They don't give the other person a chance to explain themselves, defend themselves, or anything. They just automatically assume worst case scenario, and they assume that you don't give a fuck, or you hate me, or you're a shitty person, or whatever, without any context.
Yeah.
And taking things personal it's like, then what? Okay, you took it personal. Now what? Literally, now what?
I know. And
so
then,
it's personal. Are you going to hunt them? Are you going to, like...
Say hunt?
Yes. Well, I'm saying, like...
What?
Again, if the world's flat, do I quit my job? Does the podcast stop?
Well, and I unfortunately, I guess maybe fortunately, have that conversation with a lot of people specifically about infidelity and like relationships. Being a marriage and family counselor, we talk about this a lot, right? That people feel the need. They do take it personal. And then they feel the need to like be a sleuth, a super sleuth, right? And go digging. And I'm not necessarily, entirely against snooping.
Okay, ready?
Hold on, let me finish. Sorry. But what are you going to do with it though? Like what?
That's what I was going to say.
Why? Are you going to throw it in their face and leave? Are you going to throw it in their face and fight? Or are you going to throw it in their face and fucking stay anyway? Like what? So why?
Why? So again,
why look?
Why are you doing it? And what's the result? Right. I just need to know. And we know people that know. They know. Okay. There's a person, like I'm sure you see people on that website we don't talk about. They know and they're still with them.
Literally all the time.
They're literally still with that person and they know. I just want to know. Why? Do you feel better about your own shittiness? Truthfully? I feel like that's kind of real.
Yeah, I guess people are always, and this is obviously like
a sidestep,
but people are always looking for reassurance and validation as to where their line in the sand should be. So they draw one, but then you like kick sand in it. So then they're like, well, that was rude. So then they draw another one. And then you like slide into it. And they're like, well, damn it. I was trying really hard to have the super healthy, rigid boundary way back here, which was probably irrational to begin with. Yeah. You're never going to talk to any other females. Well, that's absurd. So they pushed that and argued because that's unhealthy as fuck.
It's almost impossible.
Right. So now you've moved it, but now once you move it, you don't know where it is anymore.
I've had girls in my shop talk about that. And they're like, I don't want him talking to any girl. Yeah, I don't even give a shit. It doesn't matter. And I go, do you not talk to boys? And they go, yeah, I mean, I have friends that are dudes. And I was like,
oh, see, I struggle.
But I go, why? She goes, I know how I feel about them. And I was like, that's in her head. Makes sense. And I just was like,
definitely a cognitive distortion. We'll see what that
was. Good luck with that. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, the trust thing. That is, you have to understand what trust even means before you're deeming it on someone else and like demanding it from someone else when you can't even define it, because it fluctuates. It's like, oh, how do you need to please me today with trust? That's what I see a lot,
right?
Where it's not defined even to yourself,
right?
And that's not fair to do to someone.
No, trust is like blind faith, often.
Yeah,
it's like you have to. At some point, I just had a client yesterday that has some of these like overgeneralizations, and she has the insight to identify them, right? But like to let this shit go and move past it
takes discipline.
It's terrifying. It is terrifying. I was like, yeah, it's putting all of your eggs in one basket. And she was like,
but you don't really have eggs or a basket, you motherfuckers. Like, seriously?
It's not that serious.
I sit and listen to people and I go, do you know what serious is? Like, for real serious? Because this is not. It's not.
Yeah.
And people literally make themselves crazy with it.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy with it.
Right. It's some of the reason why I started rewatching Grey's Anatomy, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
It doses me with a false reality check. Does that make sense? Like, these people, it is a show that is extreme, but based on real plausible things, like real life things that do happen to people. Yeah. So, like, my kid eating marshmallows for breakfast is infuriating, but like, for what? For what? Because like, people are dying. People in the last seconds that I was so hell-bent on making him understand not to eat marshmallows have lost people, have died.
It's not the end of the world.
There are countries that are at war.
You can talk to them and go, hey, I don't prefer you to eat those. And you're probably not going to eat them tomorrow. Really, you know what I mean? But you already ate them.
Right.
But why? Like, do you think that's a
why am I going to make that personal? So this says, like, you may be engaging in personalization when you blame yourself for circumstances that aren't your fault or are beyond your control.
Yeah. All right.
It's not about you.
Yeah, it is. Everything's about me.
No, it's not about you.
I wish I could make things less about me.
What that says, personalization has been associated with heightened anxiety and depression.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
It is. Can you imagine making everything about you?
Or everything about your actions. That you did this when you were fucking 19 years old and you can't have a good life because you fucked up and you're walking around with some weird guilt. Dude, when I was able to let go of what I thought I didn't know at the time, but what I was doing to really self-sabotage my life, when I was talking to a counselor and she mentioned something to me, I literally felt it lift off me. For the first time in my life, and went, wait a minute. I'm allowed to be okay.
Did she tell you, Thomas, you're not that special?
No, she said, why do you, I think we've talked about it before, but when she said, why do you feel like your kids came from a broken home? Like, I'm not with their moms and, you know, blah, blah, blah. She's like, there's plenty of broken homes that are together. Your kids are smart and they're empathetic and kind. And I was like, it was the weirdest moment. And we moved on quickly and she probably didn't even realize she was changing my life.
But for you took that and
my life.
Right. Put that in your butt.
Yeah, and I got a little healthier every year since then.
Well, this says like another example is when you incorrectly assume that you've been intentionally excluded or targeted.
Listen, that is the most.
That's why I was like, let me read this to you because it's gonna get you all riled up. I love to rile you up.
It's mental. It's literally fucking mental, and you torture. For as bad as you think they're treating you, you acting like that around other people literally is worse. You're making them have a worse day than you're having.
It's exhausting.
Oh my God.
It's exhausting.
I want to do the Saved by the Bell thing and just freeze them and move chairs around, and then they wake up and they're like, why am I in the bathtub? I'm like,
I forgot
you were dirty. I don't know. Right. I didn't know we had this many dishes. Their hands are in the sink. They're not that dirty. Just rinse them off.
Here you are. It's the way to address this is like in a healthy, well, this is where you and I differ in our career. It's my job to be kind, right? Like
I'm kind. I'm so fucking kind.
People. I do give them the asshole button. That's as rude as I get. It's like,
listen, the word kind is literally in my last name. You like that?
When I do often feel the need to tell people, like, it's not all about you, but in a good way. Like, in a good way. No, but the chances of you and your whole friend group or your whole friend group sitting down and being like, we're going to plan New Year's Eve. But half of us can't make it on New Year's Eve, so we're going to have like a New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah. So
they plan it and you can't make it. None of those people were like, Thomas is busy that day.
We know. They might.
We're not going to plan it for the day after New Year's Eve. We're going to plan it for New Year's Eve so that he can't come.
Yeah, well,
nobody cares that much.
No.
And if they do, it's because you're a dick.
Yeah, or
like,
you got bad friends.
Yeah. Like, did you do something? Because if you didn't do anything, if we're fact checking, what would make you think that your friends would do that to you?
I say it all the time. Do you know what I love about not taking things personal?
So many things.
Well, a lot. But I also tell people, I love not thinking I'm special because I'm just a grain of sand in a huge beach. And people are like, Thomas, that's sad. You're special. I go, I'm not special. There's people that hold special parts in their heart for me, and they always will, whether I'm here or not.
You are special to people.
But this is what I love. I go, this is why I love not feeling special or important. It takes off the pressure of everything that I don't need to feel. I feel enough pressure on my own of what I make myself do. The last thing I need is to think that someone who has not even expressed it to me, they've never, I ask people, I go, have they said that to you? Well, no, I just know what they're thinking. I go, really? That's amazing. Because Houdini, after he died, had his wife go around and check out everybody who thought they were like psychics, and everyone was proven wrong. Every single person has been proven wrong. So, but yet you think you can talk to dogs and people when they're not around. You know what they're thinking and what they're doing. Yes, fuck off. You're full of shit, and all you're doing is torturing yourself and everyone around you.
It's fair.
Where I like, dude, those old dudes and old ladies, they're like, honey, I don't care. If they were that mad at me, they'd be at my doorstep.
My God. They have less wrinkles, less health problems.
Right. And you want to be around them. Yeah. Dude, think about the people you love to be around. They do not act that way.
No.
So if you wonder why people are avoiding you, check off this fucking list, people.
Or come to therapy.
And check off that fucking list. Buy this fucking book. I don't even know what it's about.
No, if I'm recommending it to dozens of people at a time,
So I'm just like everybody else?
Yeah. You're not special.
I know.
You're broken.
Lord knows.
You're unique and
I'm
you're
gonna
very,
die alone, as I've been reminded many fucking times.
Oh my God.
Thank God.
We have a couple clients that feel that way.
They want to die alone?
They feel like they're gonna.
I want to die alone. I don't want people to die with me. That's weird.
Do you want people to be there when you die?
I don't care. Yeah, remember What's-Her-Head said she'd be there for me?
What's her head?
Chrissy. Yeah, she told me she'd be there.
She'll hold your hand.
Her boyfriend Ben will be singing a song.
One of my clients, we actually joke now because it's a very supportive thing to say to people. And a lot of clinicians will do this. Like, you break up with somebody and they're like, you'll find somebody. There's somewhere out there, somebody for...
I love that.
And I say, I'm like, there's a lid for every pot. That's what my mom told me.
It's cute.
Lid for every pot. But there is
not your pot.
Super liberating and sometimes necessary to say out loud and hear and be validated that, like, or not, you might be by yourself. Okay,
context. Ready?
Sure.
There's a lid for every pot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know this, but there's not traveling lid salesmen. Okay. They don't just show up at your house and go, hey, I'm going to try about 2,000 fucking pots on you in a fucking local area and see which one fits you the fucking best.
Yeah, it's speed dating.
Okay, but you have to put yourself out there.
Right.
To get closer to finding that lid.
Sure.
I doubt it's going to just show up at your fucking work or from working from home or at fucking Aldi's or wherever the fuck you go.
Right.
You have to put yourself out there.
Well, yeah, and I guess that was why I ended up validating that for my client of like, you're not in a place to be out there. That's fine. Could you be? Hopefully that's kind of like why you're paying me. But like, sure, are you going to like...
That's your end goal?
Are you going to find somebody? I don't fucking know. Maybe not.
Dude.
But like, he was so relieved by that.
That's beautiful.
I wasn't like shoving bullshit down his throat. He's like, what? Everybody who says that then sends the message that I have to in order to be happy.
Oh, you're not complete.
Someone's out there. Yeah, someone's out there.
My daughter sent me something on TikTok yesterday. It made my heart super happy. And I'm going to paraphrase the shit out of it, and I'll probably ruin it. But there's this actress lady, and she was doing a show, and I think it was with Drew... What's that girl's name?
Barrymore?
Yeah, her show?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. She has one.
Okay. And it's this actress lady that's like the princess lady, dark hair. She played a princess. I don't know. She's super popular. I'm bad with names with that stuff.
I am
Ask me
horrible.
who a guitar player was from an 80s band. I'll tell you.
Oh my gosh. I think I know who. Like Princess Diaries lady?
Yeah, that girl. Mm-hmm. So she was talking about her husband that she's been with for like, a bunch of years, like 15, 16 years, I think. Oh, wow. I'm probably ruining that too. But my daughter sent me, she goes, thanks for teaching me this. And it was that someone else doesn't complete you. You make each other better. Yeah. But you're your own person. And I'm paraphrasing the shit out of it. Sure. When my oldest daughter, who's happily married, has a beautiful family, and literally are partners, like help each other out. And like
Sphere.
Yes. Beautiful. Yep. When she wrote me that, it really made me go, cool. I love that she's strong enough and she understands it and can communicate it enough.
Yeah, she'd be fine either way.
Yes.
She literally gets to choose every day.
Yes, but she,
it's beautiful.
And she loves her husband, and he loves her, and they walk together and really help each other out. And I love that she said that. So, quit being fuckers.
I know. It's not that important. You're not that important.
But families really stress people out over that shit. You haven't found someone yet? You haven't let somebody ejaculate in your vagina and put a child in you
So
yet?
weird.
You feel it?
I do, and I say that to people now that I'm like,
I love it.
Are you... Because I have people on my case they're single, and the running joke is that one of these days I'm going to accidentally put them all in like a group email.
Yeah.
So that all of my single people, I'll just play matchmaker on accident. Be like, ta-da! Oh, here's these 3 single 30-something men.
That are reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That are at least insightful and like engaging in self-care and like trying to figure shit out.
You.
Yes.
Actually working on it, talking about their feelings. Not locking girls in closets.
Right. But yeah, I forget where I was going with that. What was I saying?
I don't even know. About people that demand, like, when your family's like, hey,
oh, yeah. I say now that, like, isn't that a weird question? A friend of mine brought up the fact that, like, that's a super odd question. Are you using birth control with your husband?
Yeah. When are you going to come at my daughter and put a baby in her?
Does he ejaculate?
Could you imagine?
In you? Are you ovulating? Is your egg falling down your fallopian tube right now?
Should we turn the bed down? Should we hold your legs back?
Right. Have you started bleeding yet?
Jesus Christ. That's where my line's drawn.
But you know what I mean? Like,
hard no.
For people who are trying.
Yeah, I get it.
Has your menstrual cycle started?
Sweet Jesus. She just went twice as hard with it. That's my Achilles heel. Stop it. Don't even.
Weakness.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm strong at a lot of other stuff.
Next, cognitive distortion. Mind reading. You kind of already covered it. You said when people assume they know what others are thinking.
I had a guy that's been married for 16 years. He was with her for 5 or 6 years before that, and we're talking new client. Nice guy. Talented. Does a job that, most people couldn't do. High-end stuff. And he was talking about his wife, and there's a disconnect there. And after listening to him for a couple hours, I kind of put the things in. And it really came down to a drinking thing, that she was put off by his drinking, and everything that he likes to do is around drinking. And he was like,
Does he act like a dick when he drinks?
I don't know if he acts like a dick, but I dropped Kelly's vape pen.
That's not true.
So,
but it sounds.
I know, right?
I didn't even bring it in here.
So he had gotten a DUI, you know what I mean? And she stopped drinking around that time.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, I can say this. I don't know her, and I'm only hearing your side of the story. But every time she seems to have a problem with what you're doing, it's revolving around alcohol.
Yeah. And
I said, when people can't trust someone, it's not that, well, she can trust me. I go, I'm not saying she can't trust you like that. But I can't trust that you're going to be sober.
Yeah. That's
a different story. But he's like, why? She thinks, I go, have you ever asked her? Have you ever asked her why? Like the mind reading. Like, you can't read someone's mind. Honestly, you can't believe most things that come out of people's mouth, let alone what's in their head. I mean, honestly, how many people have lied to you?
Wait, a ton.
At least 4.
Why? Because I have shut
I'm joking. But I'm saying, like, the mind reading, ask them. Let's call them right now and ask them.
Here's, like, the extended version of that, though. Like, so many people don't know what goes on in their own head. They can't define shit. They're too busy. They don't understand. They don't self-reflect. They don't know.
Yeah.
So for me, Sally to be in a
Why are you bringing
relationship
my grandma into this?
with Bob.
My uncle? Weird.
For them to assume things and try to mind read, they don't even know what they're thinking themselves.
And if it's that important,
they want to feel
ask them.
special. And if you asked them, they would be like, I don't know what special means. Like, I don't.
And you wouldn't believe them if they fucking told you.
No! This is the most pointless. It actually says there's at least one study that found that mind reading, like accurate, like assuming, is more common among children and adolescents than adults because of the associated, like, anxiety.
You mean kids don't do it?
No, kids do it successfully. Like, they know what their parents are thinking. Like,
because that's their focus is so small. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because their brain isn't full of crazy shit.
It's the lower part of their brain.
Like
when
animal.
mom makes that face, I know I'm in trouble.
Like
or
a
when
dog.
she uses that. Yes.
A dog knows when you're coming down the road.
Yes.
They can hear things and feel things we don't feel because they're not worried about their cable bill. They're not worried about all this other shit that we're worried about.
75% of our brain is adult shit. Can you imagine if that was just gone?
I've been working on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never ran more smooth in my life in my head.
Interesting.
Ever. And I'm more miserable than I've ever been, which is hilarious to me.
So dumb.
That's the way it goes.
Some bullshit.
No, it's all right. I got this. I got big shoulders. Let's do this.
Mental filtering.
Yeah. These all sound like guitar pedals.
I know. So these next two do go hand in hand, and there's like some like clarifying definitional pieces. But it says this distorted thought pattern involves the tendency to ignore positives and focus exclusively on the negatives.
I love those people. They are my favorite.
Mental filtering.
I love that.
God,
where they only see the negative.
No, it's so annoying to me.
Bubble Bob's getting married. Pfft, good luck. I heard somebody the other day talking about a girl that was pregnant and they needed to get something for the baby shower or whatever, and their partner said, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It means like they're not making great decisions. Like they've been married like 4 years. Like they're doing good. And she's like, oh, well then, like it totally, I was like, what the fuck was that? In my head, I literally was like...
A life.
But I was like, what? It's okay. Like, but if you're raised that way, that you have to justify it, to enjoy it, or to allow it, something you don't need to truly allow.
That has literally nothing to do with you because you're not that special.
But her whole fucking thing changed. And I was like...
Magic.
Wow.
Ta-da!
That was neat.
Marriage and time. Apparently that's what makes for an appropriate baby that you can be happy about.
Yeah. Well, it probably helps. It doesn't really help at all, to be honest with you. We've seen people get knocked up in the first night, and they've had great, successful lives. And we've seen people be together for 7 years, have a baby, and next thing you know,
listen,
they're in your fucking house.
I have started with all of the hoopla about pregnancy and rights and whatever. Like, I started thinking about the people, like individuals in my life that mean the most to me and what their like birth story was, which is like, but like, where did they come from?
Yeah.
All over the place.
I was an oops baby.
All over the place. Yeah. I was not. I was tried for like 3 years. Really? I'm like the golden child.
Yeah, that's my brother.
I was the one that they waited for over and over and over.
Really?
And then 15 months later, she was pregnant again. And my mom was like, no!
High as fuck on in the garage.
Golden child.
Right. Golden green this past weekend.
Ta-da! No, my mom thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I was the oops baby.
But yeah, like, so what... Did that matter really at the end of the day?
No, it mattered. It could matter the way you perceived it. It could matter.
It could affect your story.
100%.
That doesn't take away from your value.
A little bit.
To other people.
Well, it should. I mean, it wasn't planned.
No. I think that's shit.
I'm joking.
It's shit.
I mean, dude, I think if you want to have a child, you should go to a top of a mountain and you should meditate for 3 days straight, looking into each other's eyes. And obviously, have a joint Facebook account.
I find a lot of peace in the theory that like there is only sperm donor and egg donor banks where you have to like fill out. It's like adopting an animal. there is more paperwork in adopting a puppy or a kitty than there is in
fucking a
having
girl
a
off a
baby.
Tinder.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I would like this sperm. I would like to look through your binder. Here's my application.
Your sperm binder?
Yes, your sperm binder. I would like to have a baby. I need an egg. Like, that's the only way that procreation can happen is you have to fill out an application. This is the sperm that I want.
But then you have the stories of the doctors that like fathered like 400 kids.
Wouldn't that be fun? Like I said, I just like to play with that theory of like, oh, there is no casual accidental reproduction. How many people that do we enjoy and love that like would not even be here?
Not enough. I told you I'm in the angry stage.
Oh, mental filtering.
Yeah, so when you filter it out and you don't give somebody a chance to...
When you don't even give it a heartbeat. Like, it doesn't need a heartbeat, but like,
it's
Jesus,
negative.
pause.
Negative. It's negative. Always negative.
It says researchers have found that having a negative perception of yourself and your future can cause feelings of hopelessness. This is research.
Fucking Captain Obvious, huh?
Research.
And if you're tall, you better watch your head in the basement.
Listen, it says researchers and it's like highlighted. So I was like, ooh, scientific. Let's plug this in. Sorry, guys. It's a little underwhelming. These thoughts have become extreme.
Much like the sperm folder.
These thoughts can become extreme enough to trigger suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? Hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness.
You know what else it
my
triggers?
Wheelhouse.
I'll say this. I'll go
5
one
days a
step
week.
further. I think it triggers other people to want to kill themselves. Because if you... Listen.
I know.
If you're around your mother every time, or your father, or your husband, or your wife, or whatever the fuck you're around, people that you want that to just nurture you and love you, and they're negative all the time, you're going to want to fucking hang yourself too.
God.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny? In my experience, those negative people, no, they're living the life of fucking Riley.
They're not the ones.
Fuck no. Their fucking kids, wives, husbands, and girlfriends fucking want to hang themselves fucking daily.
Ugh.
Fucking rope sales through the fucking roof, people.
Well, and it's hard. It's one thing to mentally filter for yourself, right? Like nothing positive can happen for me. It's worse when you then project that onto the world. Like, don't you have friends that are like one of my good friends is dating. She's fucking happy. She can't tell her mom.
Really?
Because she knows. She already knows what it is.
Oh.
There's no good guy.
Why don't you
not
just
in like
roast
a
her
positive
mom?
way.
Why don't you just
like
roast her? Like, to say some fucking crazy shit. It's like when you're young and you want to tell your parents something crazy. You're like, hey, I robbed a bank and I'm pregnant. And you're like, just kidding, I got a speeding ticket. You know what I mean?
I wish somebody would have told me that sooner.
Just go hard.
All the way.
I mean, learn how to roast people. Everybody watches comedy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Steal some jokes.
That's fair. So the next one is similar. So it says discounting the positive. But it says, like mental filters, discounting the positive involves a negative bias in thinking. As the name suggests, discounting the positive essentially means that you either dismiss or ignore positive events. People who tend to discount the positive don't ignore or overlook something positive.
That feels more internal than the other one. The other one feels like a shitty parent.
The other one feels like you're just choosing to focus.
You're just an
This
asshole.
One is like, no,
That's
that
internal.
can't be true.
That's
like,
internal.
yes.
No matter what is presented to them.
Yep.
And I've dealt with people like that, and I try to make them understand or see the light in things.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for people. If that's all you feel, but usually they probably have a parent that does the first one. Is that fair?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
That's probably connected to that. You know?
Yeah. They have a high standard.
They're going to fuck you no matter what. They're going to fuck you. They're going to fuck you. It's like people that are that way with me, I'm like, how do you survive anything?
God.
If you always feel like somebody's
Fucking
trying to get you.
effortlessly, and ironically enough. Like you said, they're fine. They're fine being Scrooges. They're all Scrooges.
Yeah. But then they make kids that think everybody's trying to fuck them.
Yeah.
And they're walking around like this.
Right. Well, and they're impossible to please. So it like sets an unreachable standard.
Yeah, that's sad.
I know. It's horrible.
They put the whore in horrible.
Horror and horrible. Oh, we got 3 more.
Uh-oh.
I was looking. I was like, what? How many more? Should statements.
Should?
People should all over
I thought you
themselves.
said shit.
That's
Shit statements. Like, that's the shit.
Yeah, people shit all over themselves. That's
They
what
do.
people say. So it says, when people find themselves thinking in terms of what should happen or what ought to happen, it's possible that cognitive distortion is at work. It's rarely helpful to chastise yourself with shoulds. Should or ought to statements have often been used by the thinker to take a negative view of their life. These type of thoughts are often rooted in internalized family or cultural expectations. That might not be appropriate for the individual.
So the should people, they should fucking blah, blah, blah. I go, well, let's go help them. Let's go do it. And they look at me like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, let's do it. If it should be done. Do you know what the word should? That means we should do it. If you know it needs to be done, then you should either interact or mind your own business.
Yeah. This cognitive distortion isn't necessarily judging and labeling others so much as yourselves. Like, I should have studied more.
I had a buddy that was suffering with that the other day.
You said the shoulds?
Oof. And I told him, I said, would you drive your car just looking in the rearview mirror?
Yeah. No.
I said, you're human. I know you don't hear that very often.
There's a reason why the windshield is way bigger than the rearview mirror.
Yeah. Just get after it. And I go, you didn't do anything punishable by death. So just calm down with that. I know, but people will plant those little seeds in you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, literally. They didn't tell you. I lost my wallet yesterday. I found it.
Yeah.
But do you know what my husband, bless your heart, do you know what his first text response was?
Nope. I'd imagine it wasn't something good.
Did you activate the tiles that I got you for Christmas? ? With like the emoji with like the raised eyebrows. I said, no. And he was like, I'm sorry, that wasn't helpful. And I was like, at all. You should have. Right? Don't shit on me. I'm not into that. Don't shit on me. Obviously,
and he was pretty close to being able to shit on you for that one.
I know.
I'm defending him a little bit.
But like, I get it. But like in this moment, that's not helpful. Yes, I obviously should have done that. Case in point, why I was walking smudge and my wallet fell out of my pocket. Clearly. Helpful? No, I'll shit on my own self. I don't need you to
that's a hard one.
I don't need you to shit on me.
And sometimes when you're in that heightened stage, it doesn't matter what someone says. It comes across
then he called me and he was like, how does that happen? And I was like, you are saying all of the wrong things. How does it happen? It literally fucking fell out of my pocket. What do you mean? Yeah. That's how.
People lose things.
Yeah. I understand. But like, this is not supposed to be like he was shitting on me. It's easy to shit on other people.
Yeah. But
this is,
on yourself.
I should I should have managed this different.
And I see that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I like that it says like it's often rooted in internalized family or cultural expectations.
100%. I should already be further along my career. Right. I should have a bigger house.
I should go to church every Sunday. I should be praying with my kids every dinner. I should be like, those are the belief systems that I had, that we did, that I'm like, I should be a better mom in that way. I should be modeling. I should be like, but it says such thoughts can diminish your self-esteem and raise anxiety levels.
Well, some of those things are good things though. Like I should get my ass in the gym. I should eat better. I should not eat ice cream at 1 in the morning.
I should be. Right. Doing this and doing this.
That makes sense.
But like it's hard.
It could be positive, but that one,
Once it's evidence-based, like going to the gym,
that's different.
Then that wavers it. That like how for some people,
like
the way they were raised, how is your physical health different than my spiritual health? Because both of those were taught to be, right?
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah.
That goes back to the family thing.
Mm-hmm, it's very hard. Emotional reasoning.
What's that?
Emotional reasoning refers to the false beliefs that your emotions are truth.
I know what emotional reasoning is, but that's a different thing. That's after 2 bottles.
Yes. It says that your emotions are truth. Facts.
Well, technically, they are to you, but
perception is reality.
Yes, but to anyone else, and if you want anyone else to be on your bandwagon or even deal with your shit, good luck.
It says, while it's important to listen, validate, and express emotion, it's equally important to judge reality based on rational evidence.
What's that?
Facts.
What is that?
Well, you said you don't want to discuss or argue over facts or opinions.
Why would you?
This is that. Like,
why would you?
Your opinion is right in the same category as your experience, right? Your emotions, your view, your perception. and then there's facts.
Let me tell you something interesting.
I got like a fuzzy in my nose.
The same people who insist that I should work less and spend more time with my family, and I can't spend my life working as much as I do. The same people that always tell me that love to argue opinions and love to argue facts. And it cracks me up at the time they think I'm wasting just living my honest, what suits my rhythm. They waste more time arguing.
Telling you about it?
Arguing with everyone around them than I would ever waste working. Because at least I get paid to go to work. Where I don't get paid to debate or argue. So those same people that insist that I need to slow down,
prioritize their time a lot different.
They will argue about everything. So how many minutes have you sat at the dinner table having those conversations instead of positive, beautiful conversations?
Literally anything else.
Anything else.
Because
when I'm with my kids, it's
shower
present.
for an extra 3 minutes.
You know, I'm present with them. And I actually do talk to them. And I actually do, one of my favorite things this weekend is, I got up, I was the first one up, and the boys are downstairs sleeping, and I just go down, and we're just chilling, and my oldest daughter comes down, and it's just me and her, and they kind of just wake up. You know what I mean? But I got to just sit and talk to her. Yeah. And, it was one of those moments, I wasn't arguing. I wasn't debating corny shit.
Right.
I talked to somebody yesterday, and they were talking about people doing that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'll just get up and leave. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, I will go, all right, I'll see you guys later. And they're like this. What do you mean? I go, yeah, I'm not doing this. Why would I do this? I wouldn't sit under a gutter leaking on me. I would just move,
Yeah.
So
I think emotional reasoning, unfortunately, often goes hand. I mean, if your brain's an asshole, your brain's an asshole. There's a lot of
some people like
blending. Assholes. But emotional reasoning and catastrophizing or jumping to conclusions.
It's not fair.
I feel this way, but these are the people that are like, you made me feel like this. And therefore, this is facts.
We all know better than that.
I know.
Come on.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I just like going to people like this. Go, okay. And?
Yeah.
Now what?
Right. What are you going to do with that information?
Right.
So I think this is the last one. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Labeling.
Oh, I have 2 labelers in there. Not people, actual labelers.
Not surprised at all that you have 2 of them.
We label here. So if you want to call, this is a label right here. 234-200-5949. Call us and talk about how fucked up your family fucked you up, or you're fucking up your family.
Gosh, or how much of an asshole your brain is.
Or how much weed you can smoke at a family function and still function.
One hit.
Kelly.
One hit.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, one.
Really?
Yeah.
What about edibles? I've never done that.
I have had edibles before. They are much milder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, my one friend said that his brother-in-law gave him one, and he was literally on the couch for 2 days.
No. Edibles. Mike,
didn't you take some?
Got nothing. He ain't listening.
I know. What are they? Oh, they're in there probably taking that test again. Mike wanted to get a better score. They're high as fuck. Oh, they're doing business.
They're working.
They're doing real business in there.
That's nice of them.
Yeah. Sex and weed, Jay.
Edibles.
Sex and weed. That's all we do in here. Oh, Mike sleeps like a baby when he's on edibles.
That was the point, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I imagine all that banging on the fucking closet door. Keep me up too, Michael.
So it says labeling is a cognitive distortion in which people classify themselves in a negative way following an undesirable event. For example, they might reduce themselves or other people to a single unusually negative or usually negative characteristic or descriptor, such as a failure. When people label, they define themselves and others based on one single event or behavior. So like he's a cheater.
Always a cheater.
She's a
Once
liar.
A cheater, always a cheater.
Literally, that's like a phrase.
Oh.
It's
never ending.
Yeah.
He's a thief.
She's a drunk.
Feeding his family?
He's right.
Yeah.
He's a loser.
Right. I always go, I don't know them.
Right.
I don't know them. They're a blah, blah, blah. I go, okay.
I would imagine.
Yeah, but they're a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck's your fucking point?
He's a thief. She's a whore. He's a dick.
I have the same 6 people around me. They're not, if it's not in those 6 people, they've been vetted.
Right.
You know?
I've done my work.
Yeah. Right. And fucking rain's wet. Mm-hmm. Snow's cold. Like what?
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Like once a cheater, always a cheater. How often have you heard that?
All the time. All the time.
How do you say that?
What do I say to that?
Yeah.
Usually my response is like, if that were true, what point would why would I have a job? Like if people can't change.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Like I would be literally unemployed. What would the whole premise?
Context.
Yeah. Like
context. There's a lot of different reasons why somebody would cheat. There's never a reason. I'm like, well, look around. There's obviously fucking reasons because people do it.
I have watched, being a marriage and family counselor, have watched so many podcasts and interviews and read books on like the reasons people do what they do.
Open your eyes. It's so common.
It is not mind blowing to me, but I have a couple people on my caseload right now that they're struggling because they do understand that concept and their partner won't give them that. Like, but why did you cheat? Like, I'm still here standing next to you, but why?
They don't have a reason.
Because I'm a bitch. Because I'm a piece of shit. They do like the self-deprecating, like.
Mike might be into that after reading his results from his test he took earlier.
Greedy?
Yeah, he might be into that. Yeah.
But like, that's not.
That's not a real reason.
God, that's so unhealthy, right? Because that is, instead of having a difficult conversation, I'm just going to play victim and somehow in some twisted, fucked up way take responsibility so that you can't really be mad at me because I'm saying I fucked this up, but I'm not telling you why I fucked this. Like, isn't that fucking sick?
Yeah. Well, it's the easy way out. I'd rather go, is this something that's going to keep happening?
Right. Was this a one-off or is this
like, do you have a real relationship?
Yeah. Is this the norm?
That'd be a way better conversation if you're at the point where you're in your counseling. You know, like I don't because I have people like, well, I go with same end result. Unless you can actually correct it, but you can't correct somebody cheating on you unless, I did have that one client that says, she goes, what can I do to make you quit cheating on me? And he's like, you've been being a bitch for like 8 months, been fucking horrible. That's literally what he said to her.
Very much enjoy that.
Right. I looked at her, I go, have you been being a bitch? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I'm not saying that justifies it,
no,
but
I was going to say, like, being a bitch.
It did for him.
Yeah.
And
you're a cunt.
Right. And she was like, I kind of was. And I was like, well, let's just be honest.
But let's be honest, because then that turns into what I see a lot is like a chicken and an egg.
Yeah.
Of like, well, I'm a bitch because you cheated, but you cheat because I'm a bitch. Like, we don't want to go there. So let's just
start over.
Put it up. I've been using the like imagery of a whiteboard recently that I'm like, unless you guys like put things on the table, you know, those stupid fucking dry erase markers that never fully go away. Yeah. You can always kind of see them. They're like the shitty trash ones,
the bad
right?
Ones,
the cheap ones.
I don't buy those.
Clearly. But like, if we can't do some quality work and have some quality conversations, like
make it
that's
darker.
The shit that we're going to be left with.
Fucking make it darker.
What?
Make it darker. Go over it again. Leave it there where you fucking reminded by it. Don't fucking try to erase it, because what's erasing it do?
Well, that's what I mean. If you're
not to be an asshole, just accept it. Okay? Like, there's things about me that I can't fucking go back and change.
Sure.
Lord knows, if I could, I'd fucking be like, oh, dude, zig instead of zag.
These are like infidelities, right? Like when we had Mindy, like infidelities that we both know what's on that fucking whiteboard.
Yeah.
So like, are we erasing it in my clinical brain is like, from here on, we're going to take these things and learn from them. But if we can't even have a fucking like quality conversation because you're using a cheap ass eraser and cheap ass markers, like, come on. And
it's okay for that still to be there.
Sure.
It's okay for you not to erase it, because that's not a real fucking thing. You can't, unless you want to be hypnotized.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, unless you want to go through some crazy therapy to literally, like some Men in Black shit,
Yeah.
where you're getting it scrubbed out of your brain. What are you so afraid of? That's what I ask people all the time.
It hurts.
It does hurt. I've been on both sides of it.
Yeah, same.
It's garbage.
Right.
Okay?
The whole thing's shit.
But guess what? I didn't die.
No.
I'm still going on trips and fucking eating pizza and fucking playing guitar and hanging out with my puppy.
Yeah, if the world was flat and that wouldn't affect you.
Right. If aliens are here and it's not affecting you.
Your partner where they pee.
That did it before, and I'm not saying then break up with them.
But then leave. Yeah.
Get rid of your shit.
Go.
Split up your shit.
Nobody cares.
You know? I think we should... Uh-oh. Your weeder. Jay's making some good-ass weed jokes in there. He's high as fuck.
So what I like most probably about this website is that it says, like, great news, you can fix it. Ta-da!
Wop, wop, wow. Can you fix it? In 2024,
again,
let's try to fix it.
Otherwise,
joking.
I'd be put out of a job. If people can't change, what am I here for?
So the discipline, my friend that was struggling the other day, I was like, dude, go make your bed. Handle 3 things today. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about 3 life things. Handle 3 things
normal
today.
Fucking things.
Just start with 3 things.
Yes.
Simple things.
Eat.
No dishes.
No.
Organize a cupboard.
Right.
1 cupboard, bro.
When some people, like...
It snowballs.
Some people, it's like, if you can literally get out of bed, eat and shower...
Yeah.
Great. Like, you don't have to go climb a mountain. It would be great if you didn't go from the bed to the couch. If all you have is to go... Yeah, if that's all you got...
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like, get out of bed, eat and shower.
Yeah.
That's fine. And that is my job, is to, like, meet people where they're at and set reasonable goals. This talks about how to change this distortion. So it says, identify this troublesome thought. So, like, that's why they have, like, titles for them, right? Like, we need to identify and recognize.
This light's going off. I'm doing that again. I've told people, hey, if I start doing that, can you just go, hey, you're doing that thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not, hey, you're being a fucking bitch.
Right.
It's, hey, you're doing that thing.
Right. Or, hey, you're being crazy. Don't tell me that.
No, but if that's your code word, yeah. But I'm saying have, like, a thing, like, hey,
you good?
Doing that thing again.
Sounds like you might be doing it. Looks like you might be doing it.
Right.
Like, I can see
Let's go smack your mom.
Going on. I ask my husband or my friends all the time, I'm like, where'd you go? Because, like, like, where'd you go?
That's a good way to put it, too.
Is it helpful? Because it looked like it wasn't. It looked like it was a shit place for you to go.
Right.
Come back.
Yeah. Hey, when you're done burning it down, let me know.
That's it. That's all I want. It says try some reframing. Instead of saying, which, like, reframing is challenging.
Yeah.
Like, the same. Challenging your thoughts or reframing your thoughts. Like, is this true or false? Do I have evidence for it?
Just stop there. Just stop there.
Yeah.
I always tell people, can I do anything about it?
Mm-hmm.
And how does it affect me? If it doesn't meet those 2 parameters, I'm out. I'm fucking out.
Well, and I think that probably is the difference. Let me clarify, between challenging and reframing. Challenging in my head kind of goes like, is it true or not? More of like that reality, like, let's root ourselves in some logic, right?
Facts.
Reframing is like, is there something else that we could add to that? Is there a different way that we could look at that maybe serves you better?
Yeah.
So we don't know, right? Like, when we're talking about mind reading, we don't know what they were thinking.
Call them.
Personalization. Like,
ask them.
Nobody would assume that they all had a party and decided they were going to, like, not invite you.
They do that to me all the time. I'm glad, because I don't fucking like going.
But, like, reframe it. That's a reframe, though. Instead of them keeping you out of it on purpose, maybe they just didn't invite you because they know it's not your thing.
Thank you.
That's it. That's a reframe.
Thank you.
That's all.
Or be a better person.
Maybe quit being a dick.
Yeah.
Perform a cost-benefit analysis. Does this serve me? This thought process
That's my life.
Yeah.
How does it serve me?
Does it protect me? Does it push people away?
I like how anything.
Does it align with, like, what my goals are? If your goal is to get out of a shit relationship, then, like, have at it. Run with it.
Yeah.
But, like.
Right.
And then the last one is consignor cognitive behavioral, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. But this is what we do. The internet is a wonderful thing. You can Google this shit.
Right.
It is helpful. I'm not saying that you guys can all be your own therapist, because that's literally
Start
my
there,
other.
Though. Because you have to be your therapist when you're not with you.
Yes.
Right?
Look it up. If you want to cook a chicken, you look that shit up. If you want to make crack bread
don't.
or
Most people
you
don't.
Google it.
Most people don't.
Google it. Get on Pinterest. If you can get on Pinterest and look at
what I say?
How to make crack bread.
Study this as much as you'd study a man or a woman trying to talk to your person. Study it that much. Just try that.
Sleuth it.
Just try that. Right?
It's a good
Is that fair?
Thomas.
Just try that. Why don't you look up that?
Put as much effort into that. Yeah.
Just try it. Just move it. That's all you have to do. If you have energy, it's science. Mm-hmm. You can move that energy somewhere else, and it's still going to propel you somewhere or destroy it.
Yeah. But be prepared for what's on the other end of that, too.
Fuck yeah.
That's why I tell people all the time. I'm like, all right, listen, you want to sleuth? You want to dig?
Yeah.
You want to research? What are you going to do with that information? Because it's okay if you're not in a position or a place to do anything about it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're just torturing yourself. If you want to know what the fuck is wrong with your brain, but you're not in a position to do anything about it, this is just going to cause you distress.
Yeah.
100% of the time. You're just going to be like, God, my brain's an asshole. How is that helpful? How is that
It's a start. Admitting you have a problem is the beginning of those kind of programs.
Yeah.
I truly believe that get yourself into a situation where it's like a fire drill. You do it enough times, you don't even need to have your eyes open. You know exactly where to go. And I tell people all the time, it took me, 35 days the first time trying to overcome something that was bothering me. And the next time it was 27. Yeah. And the next time it was 26. The next time it was, 32 again. But then it started going down in nanoseconds.
Right.
And people are like, you're heartless and you don't feel. I'm like, no, that's not fucking true.
No, but it served you. There was benefit in that.
I know one thing. My friends and family definitely get a better version of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not all strung out on things that don't matter. It's like you want to go to a beautiful dinner. You're not going to just sit there and eat fucking Oreos before you go. Get yourself situated for what you're doing. I tell people every day, I swear, almost every day, whatever you're super successful at, apply that to every single thing in your life. Mm-hmm. Everything. Mm-hmm. Don't short anything, from changing a roll of toilet paper to refinancing your house. Do it the same way and watch how fast your life will turn around.
As a non-option, usually is how that goes.
Yeah. And it's not easy. I didn't say it was easy, but what is easy?
Hard. It's all hard. All of it's hard. All of it's hard, but it could be easy.
Speaking of it all being hard, you sent us a test to take for this thing. Should we do this on another show? It'd be
Ooh, we should give a teaser.
We should, yeah. So look, we all took this test.
We've talked about the test. Yeah. The kink test.
Yeah.
The sex test.
Yeah. So Justin and Mike took it, and I took it in there earlier, and we'll resolve a little more of those.
What our kinks are. Yeah. I took it. A couple of my friends have taken it.
Yeah.
We're all comparing now. We're Googling things. I always tell my clients.
I might put a link in this one. You guys can take it and send us snapshots of what yours are.
I would love
and don't
to
just
see
answer the questions like fucking assholes, so they'll be crazy.
No.
We'll call the authorities.
There's enough assholes out there that are organically,
Yeah. We'll put a link.
They're into kink.
So, and you guys can text message us at 234-200-5949.
Please.
And
just pics. I would just love snapshot pictures, screenshots
of the results.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I want.
So you guys be good to each other. If you're having error thoughts, like you're being a shitty self to yourself or other people, just work on it. You're not going to just stop. Yeah. But just work on it.
Just look up CBT.
You can literally change how your family progresses for the next 2 generations if you just stop this.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yeah. The trajectory of your intergenerational, yes.
You'll grow trust. You'll go love.
Just look into it. It will be hard, but the knowledge is power.
And I do appreciate when people are being brutally honest, but that doesn't mean you have to be negative about it. You can say the
No.
truth without being negative.
Yes.
So don't think like, I'm just telling the fucking truth. Well, how you approach somebody or how you say it to them is very different.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
should not talk to your, best friend that talk the same way that you talk to your boss's boss's boss. Like,
No. Some people can.
some people can.
See how that works out for you.
Go ahead. You can.
Quit being fucking assholes.
Don't be an asshole.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.